What's going on, YouTube world? It's your girl Kimberly. So today I'm showing you guys what I'm cooking for dinner. Now, it is my favorite thing to cook. So I'm going to share this with you guys because I just love it and can never ever get enough of what I love to cook. So I'm giving you guys a secret today. Nobody knows this, but you guys, I love you. So I'm going to tell you my secret to one of my favorite meals. My favorite thing to cook is okra. I love fried okra. I can't get enough of it. That's why you guys have seen in my prior videos that I've planted 54 stalks of okra, because I just love it, and I've got to have plenty of okra because I just love eating it. So what I've done today was I've cut up about 25 pieces of okra, and if you notice that the pieces are cut pretty thick. So when you cut your okra up, cut it up pretty thick, not overly thick, just thick enough to have a nice good bite out of it. So that's a pretty thick piece of okra. So I've cut up okra, and I've cut up some onions fresh from my garden, and I put them in there. You put how many to taste. If you don't like onions, then you don't put onions in there. If you love onions, you can put as many as you want in there. I apologize, you guys. You know this crazy smoke alarm of mine. And I've also added, just for a little kicker, I put 2 jalapeno peppers in here also. I've cut the peppers up, cut them in half, and then I de-seeded the peppers. Then I washed them off because I don't want that overly hot taste in there. I just want them hot enough to give me just a little flavor. So I took the seeds out of the peppers, cut them up very small pieces, and I put them in my okra mix. And then to top it off, in a bowl, when all this was cut up, I added my favorite Martha White sweet yellow cornbread and muffin mix. I did not put any eggs in this mixture. There's no water in here. It's just the fluid from the okra that's in here, and maybe a little water from when I washed the peppers off, but that's it, and the onions off. So you don't add any water or any milk or any eggs to this recipe at all. All you do is cut up the okra in medium to thick chunks, you know, as I've shown you here, pretty thick chunks. You cut up onions to taste, and you put in there de-seeded jalapeno peppers to taste. Everything in this skillet is fresh from my garden. I got my skillet nice and hot, and I put in 3 tablespoons of oil, and you can use whatever you want, vegetable oil, corn oil. And then I just put when I put the cornmeal in there, I apologize, the mixture was in the pan, and I added in the cornmeal and kind of mushed it together with my hands like this, and that's how I mixed in the cornmeal. You can tell if it's enough cornmeal in there, because you can use like 2 tablespoons, if all the okra is coated. If all of your okra is not coated by only using 2 tablespoons, then add another tablespoon. Add enough in there to coat it, not to completely cover it, because you're not deep frying the okra. You're just giving it that nice crunchy taste. After I mixed it up with my hand, and I had the okra, the skillet nice and hot with the 2 tablespoons of oil, I put the okra in the skillet nice and flat, and now you guys see me turning the okra. And I don't mind it. It's going to get a little brown, and that's fine. It's not burning. It's just browning. So don't freak out, because you do have meal in here. And you don't want to overly stir it or anything like that, because I don't want this to be mush. I want this to be good, still feel and taste like whole pieces of okra. So I got my okra turned, and I got it on like a medium heat, so the okra's cooking. And that's my favorite secret okra recipe. The secret was the Martha White sweet yellow cornbread mix that I added to my okra fresh from the garden. Now, to go along with the okra for dinner tonight, I'm going to put in the oven some baked chicken wings. What I do with my wings, I thaw them out just a little bit, wash them in cold water really good, and then I season them with Lawry's seasoning salt. Love this stuff. It can be a little salty, so make sure you watch how you season, because it can make things a little bit too salty. So be careful when you're using the seasoning. And I use cayenne pepper. I love Durkee cayenne pepper. It's a really good flavor, and it gives, again, my chicken a little kick. Not too much, but just a little subtle kick to it. I have my oven preheated to 475 or 425 on this, and so that's already hot. And then I got some rosemary fresh from my garden and just kind of randomly threw it on top of the chicken so it can bake. So that's what's for dinner tonight. I just gave you guys one of my favorite recipes of okra, jalapeno peppers, onions, and my Martha White sweet yellow cornbread mix. I hope you guys enjoy it. I'm going to show you the finished product. But right now, let's go ahead and put this in the oven and go from there. Alright you guys, so the okra has been cooking for maybe about 10-15 minutes. And again, I put 2 tablespoons of oil in there initially, got that good and hot, and then I put the okra mixture in the skillet with no eggs, no milk, no water, only using the fresh from the garden okra, the jalapeno peppers and the onions, and the Martha White sweet cornbread mix. Put it in there flat. The key to good okra and keeping the okra whole pieces is do not stir your okra. When you're cooking okra, I flip my okra. I take a spatula and I flip the okra over as so. I do not stir it. That's what will make it all mushy. You do not want it to be mush. You want it to still taste like you're eating whole pieces of okra. So do not stir the okra up. Just let it cook on one side and then flip it with a spatula, and that's how you'll get nice good whole pieces of okra. So a few more minutes on this and this will be done. So now you guys know what I'm having for dinner. If you have any questions or comments in regards to how to make Kimberly's favorite secret okra, which is no longer a secret anymore, but my favorite okra mix, then make sure you just leave me a comment and I'll be happy to respond. Love you guys. Bon appetit and happy gardening and happy cooking.